So, everybody, we just came back from seeing
Jurassic World
Fallen Kingdom. Yeah.
Am I supposed to say it at the same time?
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It's really echoey in here.
That's not. That doesn't
Anyway,
sound so
first, before we start the review, or well, when we're doing the review, we'll do no spoilers. Also, we might switch location because we're almost out of battery, and I need to bring a spare. Yeah. So no spoilers right now. Initial thoughts? What did you think of it?
Give it a 7.
That's a good score. I think you said you didn't like it. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit.
And what's your number?
I don't like numbering things.
I like numbers.
8 to 9, I'd say. That's really... That's one higher than yours. What are you talking about? Without spoiling anything at the moment, I really liked what they did going forward from the story from the first one. I think that the director, Jay Bayona, took it in a different direction. Somewhere that people aren't familiar with. But at the same time, a much needed change. And with all the elements, like the horror elements and stuff that were in there, he knew exactly what to do, what to show, what not to show. And I thought that was a refreshing feeling from what we were used to, which is like just park and what have you. What do you say? What do you say about all the change? Because all that change could be misinterpreted as like, oh, I don't like this. So.
I liked the overall film.
I
thought it was entertaining. There were parts of it that I didn't enjoy, that I thought missed the mark. There were certain elements of the script that I really didn't like. There were...
Characters
I didn't like.
And
there were things they've done to the dinosaurs that I really didn't like. And it wasn't the obvious, it was just like...
See, now I'm like, okay, that's the overall premise of it done. Can we talk about spoilers now?
Spoiler alert!
Spoilers! Spoiler warning times. I thought the beginning started great. Because we're in spoiler warning, I felt like I predicted the whole movie. Everything. Like I predicted the submarine stealing the Indominus bone because it had the buzzsaw and the clamp.
I like that. I like that bit.
Yeah, no. The start of the movie was great. Like the dinosaurs, they were silhouetted and you didn't see them clearly. A bit like Steven Spielberg with Jurassic Park. He didn't show much. It's all built up, and it was in a storm. It was in a night with a T-Rex, and
I don't know if it was really built up.
It was. It was like we see the mosasaur, and the whole thing. The trailers did not do this movie justice. At all. They showed like with the guy turning around and seeing the Mosasaurus eye. That wasn't even in the film. There's a lot that happened in the film. We'll get into it later. That was in the trailers that just it made it look bad, and I honestly really enjoyed it. But that starting was so good. It was classic. It was different. It was this is a different. It set the tone. It's like this is really different.
I really liked the opening sequence. I thought it was a really nice, almost homage to the first film. Because you had this build-up of people doing something on the island and the dinosaurs don't like it.
Yeah.
And it was just one person. I thought it was really good.
I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the opening a lot.
It was definitely a fan service kind of opening, I think.
Yeah.
With a giant mosasaur coming out of the water.
Yeah, with the mosasaur
Everyone loves the mosasaurus.
Coming out of the water, yeah.
Wasn't that one of your most viewed videos? The one with the mosasaurus mouth just like... And then the person like there and going...
it was a popular one. Universal took down my video. I can really understand that because I predicted everything. Well, I didn't predict, but I didn't predict it. It was shown, and you put 2 and 2 together. And well, if they didn't want it, why do you put it out there then? The elevator scene, the opening where you see her in Jurassic World. This time, it's like, she's a little bit different. She's not as clean. Yeah, and the door doesn't open as well, like all the way. It's all these little techniques to show. Change your character, change your environment. But
similar, the way they reintroduced her the same way. They had that.
Yeah, she was on the phone, and that's it. Yeah, so it's the same character but different. Not as you know her, but it also introduced the 2 new characters, Frank and Zia. Anyway, those 2 characters, they were interesting.
I didn't like them. Derek, was his name Derek?
No, his name was like Frank Webb, I think. Anyway, he was just played it for laughs the entire movie. He did have some lines that were like, okay, I get that. But it's kind of this thing that goes throughout the whole of Fallen Kingdom. I felt where the comedy just didn't land, and you felt exactly the same way. It's like in the trailer and in the movie when the T-Rex moves his head, and then Owen's like, okay. It's like,
Well, I think it was almost every comedic moment that they had
Yeah.
really fell flat.
Yeah. Like the one at the end of the death of the dinosaur. They're all like, "How you doing?" "Yeah, we're good. Look, we're in this situation." "Oh, yeah." It's like, oh, we've seen that done a million times. Stop it! And his scream, Frank's scream, when the baryonyx comes in, like, just all throughout, it was kind of...
Yeah, and there was a scene where he was being introduced to Owen, and he was saying, "This is our data analyst," and that's what Claire said.
Oh, yeah,
and then he was like, "Oh, I'm a
raptor trainer,
blah, blah, blah." And then he was like, staring at him, and he goes, We're not
compatible.
And I just thought...
That's not a very well written phrase. And luckily, that whole Owen Grady scene where he goes, "This is gonna be awesome," wasn't in the movie either, because that was terribly written too.
Yeah, I feel like when they tried to be comedic, it just didn't work. Except the sticky Molark.
Yeah, the sticky Moloch. Yeah, that worked really well.
I really like the sticky
Yeah, we didn't know.
But we're getting too far ahead.
Are we?
Yeah, we
have I don't know how much battery we got.
The characters first!
Yes!
Okay, we've got these 2 new characters we're just introduced to, and I don't know, in the first Jurassic World, I quite liked the new characters that we were introduced to, the ones who were working in the office behind the scenes.
Lowry and
I liked that girl and that guy. I thought they had a really nice rapport between them.
I don't really think, but yeah.
I liked them. I remember them, and I thought they were quite a nice pair. But this new couple that they brought in, not couple, but these 2 people they brought in, the girl was instantly unlikable. Like,
I can see where you're coming from, but I think they were trying to do a character that's like a go-getter, and
they were trying to make her really like out there and like really.
Oh, she had a funny
assertive.
scene when she got his face. It was like, it's kind of like a tomboy aggression, and that's how I felt that character was at that moment. I thought that was quite that was nice.
I didn't like her from the get-go.
You're wearing like the same thing as she wore. Yeah, she was wearing like a yellow jumper with like a cockerel on it or something.
Well, I wore this morning, and she wore it in the afternoon.
What about Owen?
Oh,
I'm gonna say something. I don't really like him too much. I feel like he flip-flops. Sometimes I'm like, I don't like this character, and other times I'm like, oh, he's got some humanity.
I felt like they took a lot of his passion out of him.
Do you? Well,
I could see why he was so invested. You could see he was emotionally invested in this. He was like, oh no, my dinosaur.
Well, no, he didn't say anything like that. He was very stone cold face, but then when he's in his trailer, he's looking at the video of Blue, and it's like, he doesn't show it. But the thing is, I look at Chris Pratt, and I see Guardians of the Galaxy. So when I see Owen Grady, I see a very watered down version of Star-Lord.
See, the thing is, Star-Lord to me was a big character. He played Star-Lord really good.
Yeah.
But I felt like with Owen Grady, his character had just been played down so much to the point where he was no longer interesting. Like, I felt like he didn't even really have to be there. If you think about it, if you think about the film now, he had no moment where it was like, oh, Owen Grady said that, or Owen Grady did this. It was mainly Claire, who was definitely the protagonist in this film. And
It definitely was focusing on him. I feel like I don't have too much connection with him. Sometimes he has lines, and I'm like, oh, okay. But then, like I said with that, oh, okay. A lot of those, I think they read the criticisms that people had given them, and then went, okay, we're gonna shorten that line. Because some of them, like in the trailer, there's a moment when Blue like turns around and Chris is like, "You think of what I'm thinking?" And I'm like, "Oh, the cringe!" But then that was actually a different scene. So whoever edited that together, what are you doing? It made it look so bad. Yeah, we're good. We got 9 minutes.
Okay.
We got 9 minutes. How long the battery's gonna last, I don't know.
What are you doing?
I'm getting more in the frame with you. I don't know if I'm picked up.
Claire was really good.
Stay still.
Sia as a character, I didn't really like her, but I could see her as a very strong female character. I thought she was good as well. The guy, the data analyst, Frank, whatever his name was.
Frank Webb.
He annoyed me a lot.
You didn't like that at all.
I felt like his comedic humor was completely unnecessary almost. They need that data analyst hacker.
They needed that. They needed the character
hacker
to do the certain things, and he filled the role. Maybe, I mean, the actor did what he could with the stuff he was given. He had one funny moment when the ladder fell, when he was climbing up it, and then the ladder sort of came down. And that was good, like comedic sort of.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was good. I like that. But then that was his character, because if it was going to happen, it would happen to that character.
Yeah.
So stuff like when his character's played like that works. But when he's giving weird lines like, "We're not compatible," people don't say that. Or do they really, like, super nerds say that? I don't know. It's an unbelievable, it's unrelatable. I always sort of mixed. I didn't mind her as much, and I didn't mind him. We've had worse characters in the past in the Jurassic franchise, like Amanda Kirby.
What's a bad
What about the Hunter character? Because he was sort of the next one.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't feel much of a... I mean, he was just like, I am the Hunter bad guy.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Kind of just filled a role.
A role, yeah, to be, we're going to do this our way.
And we all knew one of the dinosaurs was going to kill him.
Like I said, I predicted Indoraptor would kill him. Because you get the shot of the Indoraptor roaring at him, but how he died! Oh, that was great. I'll just quickly go into that for a second. Because one thing I really like about this movie, the horror direction it went in and things, and the risks it took, also with the gore, we had no Hoskins PG-13 off screen, which is great. No blood splatter. Like, you saw his hand. Like, Indoraptor had a few funny moments as well in that scene where he's like, I'm going to pretend to be asleep. I was like, really? I mean, I know he's smart, but still.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I didn't like that either.
I thought that was ridiculous. And you could see almost a smirk on his face.
The Indoraptor.
Like, he's an animal. At the end of it, he's still
an
animal.
Maybe he has a sense of humor. I don't know.
No, but that ruined the character a little for me.
The Indoraptor. Yeah, it did play up this tense scene to be like, comedy. And it's like,
He's meant to be this wild creature with wild instincts.
He's not wild, he's genetically modified. He's a killer. He's a killer creature.
Yeah, but he is still a wild creature, in a way, because...
It's a killer, I'd say. You wouldn't have a lion all of a sudden fart and go, hey, and then kill you.
But, like, you know how they explain the thing with the laser pointer gun and then they use the sound? So that's like an animalistic instinct to go, ooh, kill! Like, nothing else matters. They don't deliberate. They don't think. They just do. Mm-hmm. They're not like dogs.
Well, the Indoraptor is intelligent because it's Indominus and Blue. So I get it playing dead because as soon as that happened, I was like, it's playing dead.
What other animal do you know of that plays dead?
Highly intelligent animals? Loads of animals play dead for prey purposes. So hunters, predators don't attack them. So I thought that's not too far-fetched. But when he's like, when that whole scene plays up for laughs, I was a bit But the way that guy died, the way his arm came off. They didn't show too much blood. I feel like I wanted more. I wanted to see him. And you see when Indoraptor's really close to him, he's crying. This character who's all big on himself, he's torn down. I love that. I thought that was great, sort of circle for the characters. Like, yeah, you get your comeuppance. Blue, I feel more attached to Blue this time. Ta-da! We ran out of battery! But anyway, we'll continue talking about the movie.
Where did we
We're doing like a bang bang, bang bang. Oh, I'm supposed to like fall backwards. Okay.
Oh, you're not doing it anymore. That was good.
You don't know what to say. Okay, I'll jog it off. Right. So, what do you? As far as this movie.
Flow is gone.
The flow isn't gone. I've got plenty to talk about. Trust me. I didn't expect to have so many feels. Like we've seen it in the trailer. You've seen them looking at the island and it covered in lava, and then Claire goes, "It was all a lie." If you slow down, that bit sounds great. Anyway, but the one moment, and it just, I didn't expect it. I didn't see it coming. Is when they look out at the island, and that brachiosaur's there. How dare you? I'm calling you out, J.A. Bayona.
That was so sad.
That was so... I don't think I've ever been that emotional at well, I mean, when dinosaurs or animals die or are in jeopardy, but that brachiosaur by itself, and it's... As soon as I saw that image alone will be stuck with me for the rest of my life. A brachiosaur with the island on fire behind it walking along the dock. I'm getting goosebumps. As soon as I saw that, I just went, boom! I was like, I knew I'm going to well up. And I know he wanted to put across this is really sad, this is a goodbye. And in a way, it was a perfect wrap-up for Isla Nublar because, like, when we first saw a dinosaur, it was a brachiosaurus. It did rear up. And as it gets engulfed by the ash and the smoke, you see a little silhouette of it doing that, leaning up. And it was just like, wow, what a send-off for Isla Nublar. But again, at the same time, screw you for making that so sad. It was, you being the little person at the side who's doing the death thing. And what was saying, it was sad, very brachiosaur. The thing was, what made it so sad was that if it was just a random brachiosaurus and we saw it, it would be sad anyway. But we saw it before. We saw it in the main street, and we're like, oh, we've got to save these things. And then to see it just, man, it really did kind of like scar me a little bit. Just like I will always remember that now. That one, and in a way, I kind of don't want to watch the movie again because I don't want to go through that, knowing that scene's coming up and that Brachiosaur is gonna die. And it worked for what it wanted to do, and they did a lot of things right. I don't know how I feel about that. It's still raw for me.
I wouldn't watch that again.
There was a lot of this movie. They wanted to make it real. They wanted to like really build this. That these dinosaurs are real. They have feelings, and there's consequences to the actions. But that really distressed me in a way that I think maybe a lot of people who are going into this film after Jurassic World and it kind of being all like magical, Blue and Owen's magical adventure, happiness, friendship. They beat the bad guy, and then going to this. Oh. There's going to be some people that are going to be really taken aback by that, and I didn't expect that at all going into it. But it made you feel, and when a movie does that and it makes you feel something, it did it right.
Yeah,
I'm just not happy with how it did it. It's like a gun to my head, like, you will feel emotion. We're going to kill this thing. Mm-hmm.
Did they
really, you're going to watch it. You're going to watch it die.
Did they really need the Brachiosaur there, like this majestic creature, just...
I'm so in two minds because I liked how it was sent off, and it's like a final farewell. That's it. Never go back on the island. And the Brachiosaur, that silhouette, boom. That was great cinematography. It scarred me. At the same time, I feel like it's
sad.
It's really sad. Maybe I'm taking it too to heart. Maybe I don't know. Everything was there. The music was there. The expression, how, like, my mum said, why didn't the Brachiosaur go in the water? I'm like, well, it was like a steep drop off. It can't swim.
It was just a duck.
It's like, it just got left behind. It's like it tried, it came there, and they just didn't save it. It did everything it could. And I don't know, if I was a little kid and I was kind of emotionally, easily influenced by stuff like that, that's going to leave a scar on some kid. Definitely. It's going to be like, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised some kid will grow up like me in 20 years' time and be like, I never got over that.
Yeah, well, the thing with that scene was it was really, really sad. And I feel like when you have a really, really sad moment in a film, it kind of ruins it a bit. You mean
rewatchability?
Yeah, rewatchability.
Like going back and knowing that you've got to go through that again. Yeah,
because I have a few films that I've seen in the past that were really gut-wrenching. That I would never. You wouldn't re-experience. Watch again.
Yeah, but they could.
I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
That are really gut-wrenching. That were really hard to watch again, and I would never ever watch them a second time. But I thought they were beautiful films, and I kind of placed that scene in that kind of category where I wouldn't want to endure that again. So.
I mean, all of this is still raw. Definitely for me, and it would be for you because we watched at the same time. So I couldn't really say. I liked the movie. It needs to sit with me again. I think I'm going to have to rewatch it, but that's going to be, I feel like there's a bit where I want to skip it just because I don't want to.
Close your eyes.
It's like, when those adverts come on TV and they're like, you see this elephant get killed or something like that. It's like, I know it's real. It's supposed to get you to have that response, to be like, to upset you, to motivate you in that way. And it builds you. I felt by the end you had more of a connection with the dinosaurs than you did in the first one. They're not just these park assets. Yeah, that was sad.
We should probably move on from that.
We'll move on for that because I think. Did you cry?
A little bit.
You cried. I was like, I felt the tears, and then
you were like, I'm a man.
And then I was like, I'm a man. But then I was like, but no, I'm gonna feel it. How did you feel about the Indoraptor? Apart from that comedic moment where he's like lifting his tail.
I don't know. He's not very believable.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't feel like he was a believable antagonist, and I didn't feel like he was a believable animal. And the weird thing with the creepy hand, which was totally just for cinematography factor. No, wait, because he really just wanted to have that whole creepy horrorness, like, ooh, scary hand going, ooh.
I thought that was good.
I didn't like it. I felt like if
it might be a bit cliche.
If it really wanted to eat her, it would have ate her.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah. Seeing an Indoraptor.
Slowly go, hello, my pretty.
It's like, it just turned into Alien for a bit. It's like, I'm going to draw this out and I'm going to slowly get you. Yeah, I can see that bit. Yeah, it's
While he was charging for everything else. It made no sense why he was going so
Why he
slowly
was
for
taking
this
his
little
time?
girl.
Because JB only went, hey, could you do that a little bit slower? That's why.
It was very
I expected
scary.
him to camouflage. I expected to see him sort of camouflage. I liked how it mimicked Maisie's scream. Like when she's screaming, it starts to, like when it's chasing it also does this like high pitched sort of sound effect. And I know from like a little bit behind the scenes, they deliberately designed Indoraptor's like screech to be unsettling and to be like off key. As I sort of guessed how it was gonna die. It was pretty obvious from everything that was put out there how it was gonna die. I will admit the movie flowed quite fast. It wasn't slow paced. It was like bing boom bang.
Wait!
Okay.
When he killed the grandfather, what
Yeah.
was up with that?
Yeah.
Oh, this man entrusted me with his life
Yeah.
and all his money and all his things, and I'm just going to take this pillow.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. You saw that. I didn't think that was too bad.
James.
Yeah. Oh. Where's my Amber Cane? I'll drop it. Bye bye, everybody. But I mean, we needed.
We all knew it was
We
gonna
needed the
happen.
motivation. I think
We needed
it
the
was.
reason
It
to
was
hate
done
them.
very well. I think that way we didn't need to see. I mean, that's where you draw the line at showing an old man get suffocated. Yeah, you'll show a Brachiosaurus slowly die, but it was handled in a way like the Amber Cane smashing was very metabolic. Metaphoric of that is the end of John Hammond and that old way.
Find him.
Rexy.
I'm still talking about the old man.
Okay, talk about the old man.
Okay,
then.
the old man.
Yeah.
I don't remember John Hammond ever mentioning that partner.
It's grey. It's a grey area
Yeah.
in the law.
They've just like kind of went.
I thought it was
"He had a
okay.
partner."
It wasn't too bad. It's sort of like he learned from his mistakes, and that's why he never confronted Maisie. Which that was great. How they went to the human cloning sort of thing, and they took it a little step further because that's what got people talking in Jurassic Park. And that's something that Jurassic World never did, was have this whole conversation about genetics and should we be doing this. It was explained a bit too clear. It was like, you're his daughter in clone form! I thought maybe they could have done that a little bit better with like, I mean they showed the
Photograph.
photo of her and was that his daughter?
Her mother.
Her mother, was that the daughter? I didn't get that from that. I was like, is it a sister? Because she said I raised both of them. And I was like, I thought she had a sister. I didn't realize that it was her again. I didn't get that because it showed them both there in the same photo.
It was because
So-
they were identical.
They were identical looking, but surely he made Maisie after she died. So how could they have the same photo together? I thought they could have done that a better way, and especially when what's he called? That guy does literally spell it out. He cloned you. You were a product like the dinosaurs.
It was very random.
I thought it was like, I heard people in the audience go, ooh,
Well,
and especially my mum, but at the same time it could have been done better.
I didn't understand why he really wanted Maisie to go with him. I don't know why he had this attachment to her.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get the relationship between them. Like, he was just trying to be nice to her because basically she's head honcho's granddaughter.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, why does he care so
Why
much?
does he care if he suffocated him? Was it like, is it guilt? You will come with me now?
I don't know.
One thing, you talked about bad script writing or deliveries and stuff. When Chris and Owen and Claire come across Maisie when she's scared, she's seen her granddad dead and all this, and she's overcome with emotions, and then they're like, oh, he can tell you everything about Blue. There's a part when he's like, Claire says, we could do with a friend too, and with the music, I was like, oh, this went a bit weird. Did you get that? Did you pick up on that bit? It's the last line when she comes over, she hugs Owen, and then all of a sudden Claire, it's like an added line. It's like, you look like you could use a friend, and then she comes over, and then she goes, we could use a friend too. And with the music, creepy music playing, I was like, this just got a bit dark.
I didn't totally get why she was so attached to Owen. Like, immediately she ran to Owen and gave him a hug, even though Claire had been in her house before. Like, wouldn't she trust Claire a bit more than Owen just because she saw him on the video?
Yeah.
I don't think that would give a child reason enough to want to get
Yeah.
affirmation from this stranger.
Her actions, are a little bit questionable there. I guess it's because she's seen Owen with babies and being like nurturing, so that might, because that's what she's looking for right now, maybe. But you're right, I don't think a kid, especially how old she is, because she's not like young, she's fairly she can comprehend quite a lot of it, to just all of a sudden run over to him. I don't know, there needed to be a little bit more time spent on that bit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Henry Wu, yeah, he got out of trouble again. He has this chat, like, it was so funny because literally every situation he manages to get out, and this time he's sedated, and he gets carried out. It's like, come on you got to be in the last one at least to get your comeuppance.
He's got a moral compass of some sort, but it's not always in the right place.
Yeah.
Because in the film, he's like, I told you we weren't selling our prototype, and then they're like, oh, well, 40 million says we are.
Well, Dr. Wu's he wants to see his project completed. And like, he had Masrani come in and be like, you can't do that anymore. He's like, well, you said you gave me the go ahead. And then he's wanting to do this, and then this guy's like, well, we're going to sell it now. It's like, come on! So Dr. Wu's just like, I just want to make the perfect genome dinosaur that is amazing. But everyone gets in his way.
Yeah.
It was interesting in the end. Did you notice that when Owen's like, you could come with us straight away? Blue looks at the crate and is like, yeah, no. I'm not gonna end up in a cage again. I'll see you later. I thought that was quite nice.
Yeah.
And that was a nice way of showing it through visual, without Blue all of a sudden opening its mouth and saying, no, I'm not going back in the cage, bye. But you made a good point about Rexy basically just being fan service in this one.
Yeah, I mentioned a while ago that Rexy at the end comes out of literally nowhere with a little Carnotaur.
That's right,
and it's literally so random. I'm here now! And then he does his classic.
Yeah, it was almost frame for frame the turnaround and roar. So we've had 2 T-Rex roars there.
But it was so random, it had no reason to be in there.
I mean...
And if they wanted to use the T-Rex, they probably should have introduced her somewhere else a little bit more and given her a part.
I will agree, it did feel a bit... We'll just shove it in there. Yeah, well, we knew he had to get his comeuppance, and Rexy did. And he got decapitated, so that's quite cool, because we haven't seen the decapitation, well, apart from this movie, in Lost World, where Eddie Carr, who was a nice guy who got torn into, so it's nice to see a bad guy get torn into. And then I quite like the little animation of Toast trying to get a nibble on the wound, and Rexy like, bugger off, and then it running away. But you are right. Did you notice on the island, and you guys might notice as well, there was a weird audio mixing when Rexy did her roar after taking down the initial Toast, whether it's this, the one at the end, or I thought that was a younger one. And they had a Carnotaurus animatronic at one point, so that never really did 10. But anyway, when Rexy took down Carnotaurus and then did the classic roar as a volcano goes behind, they changed the roar out for the original roar in Jurassic Park at the end. I think it was the same roar, because every time they've added Lost World T-Rex roars, but it seemed like such a last minute roar because everything else went quiet. It was like they quieted everything else down and made this roar really loud, or her roar really loud. It I don't know, maybe it was our screen, but it sounded like it was a last minute, oh, we've put the wrong roar in, bang, put that in. That's how it felt to me.
I was like, did Claire and Owen actually have this plan?
No, when Claire aims at Chris.
Like, what's she doing?
I was like, could you not aim at the floor?
I know.
I thought she was gonna. When I saw that and the whole system was implemented about it fixating on a target, I thought she was gonna aim at the floor and it was gonna go ooh because it's programmed that way, right? But maybe it needed a live target. But yeah, I'd be like, Claire, what are you doing? Communication! I don't want to die!
Yeah, I felt like
that was a bit...
unless they actually had planned that, to be on the roof, because I'm pretty sure they didn't plan to be on the roof, because she was like, the little girl was like, I know a way!
It's funny when Claire's on the roof and is banging, and then Director's like, oh, you're there! And then it slowly starts backing up like a cat, like, oh, I get you! I thought that was quite funny. I don't think it was intentional, but it was like...
Yeah.
But
I guess
I thought they were going to kill Blue at the same time there. But then they had Blue land in between them. Like when Owen was watching the Brachiosaurus die, because they all had their looks at it, he didn't really show any expression.
Owen had no emotion.
He never really shows expression. Maybe a little bit, because I think maybe he's... I'm still trying to work out his character. Is he stone-faced, but he's got a little heart?
Well, in the first film, he seems a lot more lively and a lot more carefree. I know this is a more serious situation because it's dinosaurs that he cares about.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not connecting with the character.
And then...
Maybe other people are. I don't think...
And then...
Yeah?
When Claire kissed Owen to give him that motivation to go save Maisie, it was like...
Did you not like that bit?
Is that necessary?
You not like that bit?
No, I didn't think it was necessary. Why do you need to kiss someone to make them do something?
Well, obviously she has feelings for him.
Yeah, but I didn't get the build-up of the feelings coming back.
I think when you're in that situation, I thought that was okay. Because she'd been literally stabbed through the thigh.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Why wasn't she limping out of there?
Yeah, true. Why was she having a transfusion from Rexy, is the point. The end of the film's very open. I think it does have echoes of Jurassic Park. And I can see why a lot of people like it. Because it's like the sequel that we always wanted. Sorry, you want to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's that scene where Claire has to make that moral decision. Does she want to push the button to release all the dinosaurs, or will she keep them in and save humanity from their rampage almost? Because once you push the button, there's no going back.
Yeah, that's what he says.
And so she like changes her mind and closes it, and it's like, oh, and then in that moment, when he says, once you push that button, there's no going back, I think everyone in the audience had this moment where they were like, what would I do?
Uh-huh.
You know? And what was your reaction? Would you push
I would have pushed the button.
I'd have pushed the button.
I think everyone, in a way, I think that was a bad thing for her character overall. I think that kind of, I don't know, it's like, well, I guess, okay. Like when faced with the opportunity to save them, but they're into the real world. It felt like, because they did revisit her, saying it's your fault, we tampered with dinosaurs, you made the Indominus Rex. And then that was her almost like trying to redeem herself, like, you know what, no, I'm not making the same mistake again. At the same time, I felt like that kind of hurt the character a little bit to say, actually, no, she's going to watch all these dinosaurs die. When she did that, I was like, no, we've already had the Brachiosaur, we're not watching the dinosaurs die of, like, suffocation.
I had a feeling
we're not
Maisie
having that.
would do it.
Yeah. And that was quite nice, because she said they're alive like me. I think they had an idea in their head, they were going to say, okay, they decide not to push the button, but Maisie has this heroic line and goes, they're like me. But I don't know whether the execution of it was great enough, because Claire would never have went, no, because she unlocks them all, and then the final bit, she's like, no, come on. That was all built up for Maisie to go, they're like me. And I feel like it was a good line, but I think that it could have been handled a little bit better. I liked it, but unlike all of the other Jurassic movies,
feels very different.
It's not bad. I think it's different in a good way, but I don't know if I could watch it right away. I think with all of the other ones, I'm like, oh, I could watch it anytime, but with this, and that shocking moment, I don't know. I don't know if I could watch it.
Yeah, it felt more like a horror film.
Yeah, definitely. There was some amazing shots. I mean, I feel like most of the time we've said, this isn't that good, this isn't that great. There was a lot of good shots, like with Indoraptor. The gyrosphere, when it was like a continuous shot of inside the gyrosphere and them drowning, the water going up, that was really cool. Did you notice that? It wasn't a single cut. It was, and they held their breath and stuff, and then it cut eventually. But I thought that was really, really good. The Indoraptor on the roof of the building with that pan and the claw like coming over the top. I really liked that, and again another long shot of it going all the way around and opening the door. There's a lot of homages to Jurassic Park, like with Maisie trying to like close the thing and the raptor going for a, which is like Jurassic Park and the raptor's in the kitchen, and the claw on the door opening thing. It was a plethora of different things.
How can a raptor open a door?
It's clever, like a bird.
That's going to be the answer to everything it does. It's clever.
Yeah, well, it played dead. It can open a door. In closing, I really liked it. I liked what they did with it. It was emotionally scarring at parts. Loved the horror themes. I think they added something different to it. Really liked that. But it's left a weird taste in my mouth. Because we all wanted something different. We didn't want the same thing over and over again. We didn't really spoon-fed that like we did with Jurassic World. I think it was, for me, I thought it was better than Jurassic World. I think you're different. You preferred Jurassic World, didn't you? I need to let it settle a little bit. It's still raw, everything I've said and we've said, I feel like we saw it once, this is our initial reaction. So they'll probably change maybe with a second viewing or even just over time. Well, that's me. I liked it.
My overall view is I enjoyed it. I didn't love it as much as I liked Jurassic World, the first film. I thought Jurassic World had this really nice, whimsical, exciting feel to it. It was an adventure and it was so many new things to it and it was like fun. This movie felt a bit more like a traditional kind of movie you would see in a cinema.
Did you? I thought Jurassic World was more of a popcorn movie.
No.
Like, that is the movie you'd see.
I think Jurassic World had that nice feeling. For me, I thought it had a really fun feeling to it, a fun factor that I really got into, and I could feel the same emotions that I felt watching the first Jurassic Park movie. Because it is. It is, basically, but it's got that same whimsy and that feel.
The trailers, like I said, made it look worse than it actually was. The lines in the movie weren't as bad as that, but they would, like I mentioned, after the Indoraptor fell and died, and then they have this moment like, "Are you all right?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're fine." I was like, "Come on, man." It seemed a bit forced, a little bit.
And Chris Pratt's a funny guy. That's the thing.
Yeah, he is.
So he could do a lot, but he came off really unemotional in this film. I don't know. I felt like, in terms of personality and character, Claire was the first, I think.
Yeah, I think they said early on that this was going to follow Claire's character, to be honest.
Followed by Blue, followed by Maisie, followed by the Sticky Molark, followed by Owen.
Yeah. Apart from that one scene where she just randomly goes up and hugs Chris, and it's a bit, oh, okay. I quite like Maisie as a character. But anyway, guys, yes, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And I'm sure, like, if you like the film, that's completely fine. Like, I do not disagree with anything. I don't see why, like, some people would hate on other people, like, you didn't like that? Oh, you didn't like Chris Beard? It's like, well, we're all different, and it's hard to please everybody. Overall, I liked it. Overall, I don't think you did like it. I
enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it, but
I didn't love it.
Didn't love it, yeah. But yeah, that's it, and yeah, we'll see you later. Bye. That reminds me, there was somebody. You don't come to a cinema and bring a packet of crisps that big. The first 20 minutes was literally him. I was going to throw something at him. I was like, really? Really?
He was going to throw something.
Nobody else was made. Like, if you're in your house, fair enough. You don't come to a cinema and do that. I feel like recently, every time I've been to a cinema, it's been that sort of, like, either somebody talking and not shutting up, or something like that. Do people not get it anymore? You don't come to cinema to, like, take your shoes off and get your sticky feet out there and just eat crisps. I don't know.
That was James's rant.
That was my rant. That was so annoying.
But thank you for listening.
Yes.
We'll see you in another 3 years.
Bye. Oh yeah, 3 years next
3
one.
3 years, yeah.
3 years next one. I don't know what they could do with it, but I'm looking forward to it.
Are you going to be in it?
No.
You sure?
Not after what I've said. I don't know.